Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here with us tonight, or today. It's my pleasure to appear before you again at the beautiful Aztec Shawnee Theater. It's a landmark to the continued improvements we've made in the downtown Shawnee. Last year I spoke about our city coming together as a Shawnee United. Regardless of what neighborhood we call home, which schools our children attend, or where we work, together we are Shawnee. And I'm proud of what our community has accomplished in the previous year. Together, the City Council named our new city manager, Paul Kramer, in a unanimous vote. Paul, if you'd stand up. Thank you. Together, we said hello to some familiar and new faces in our other leadership positions at City Hall. Together, we opened 2 newly renovated fire stations. Together, we celebrated community-wide achievements in sports, academics, and other activities. We demonstrated the power of Shawnee together and how unified we can take our place as a leading community in Johnson County and in the state of Kansas and across the entire country. Because together, we all know and share a singular piece of valuable knowledge. Shawnee is a great place to call home.
Home is where the heart is. Home, it's not a place, it's a feeling, it's a people, it's what draws us together. For whatever reason you have to call Shawnee home, whether you grew up here, moved here, built a business here, this is your home now. A home we're all invested in, to keep historic, to keep beautiful, to keep improving, to keep that small town feel and those big city amenities. The services we rely on to keep us safe, to keep us moving, to keep us engaged, from our hometown businesses to our downtown, from our parades to our festivals, from our parks to our pools, from our streets to our neighborhoods. This is our home, because there's no place like home, because there's no place like Shawnee. Welcome home to Shawnee.
Finding a place to call home is a choice for many of us. I think everyone in this room would agree with me. There are many reasons to make Shawnee a great home. It starts with having strong leadership, heading up a world-class professional staff at City Hall. That's why I was so pleased to announce the hiring of Paul Kramer as a new city manager at last year's State of the City. In just his first year on the job, Paul has strengthened our team and department directors with a new deputy city manager, Colin Duffy. Would you stand? And with the new assistant city manager, Lauren Grafoff, Public Works Director and IT Director. While Shawnee has said farewell to a number of talented individuals who served the city loyally and faithfully for decades, I believe this new generation of leaders will continue that proud lineage of commitment and service to our residents. That commitment is realized and honored in so many of our departments. In fact, the City of Shawnee is home to 4 departments nationally accredited in their fields. Our police, fire, public works, and parks and recreation departments are all accredited by their respective national associations. Outside of City Hall, I do want to honor the accomplishments of the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce for earning its own 5-star accreditation from the United States Chamber of Commerce. Of more than 7,000 chambers in the U.S., only 1% has earned this designation. Those honors put our city in a rarefied era. Shawnee is one of the only 6 cities in the entire United States to boast all 4 city departments and the Chamber of Commerce earning accreditation. And that's quite an achievement. To receive such an honor requires a commitment to the community they serve, a constant need to improve, and a dedication to uphold the highest levels of professional standards every single day. Because of that commitment, the City of Shawnee is the ultimate benefactor of the efforts of all of those city employees. We can see it in the numerous programs offered by our Shawnee Parks and Recreation Department, the professionalism in our officers interacting with the public, the fast response of our firefighters when residents call 911, and the round-the-clock commitment to get roads plowed during a snowstorm we saw on display multiple times this winter. Additionally, our finance department received its 19th straight award of excellence in financial reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. And the S&P Global Ratings affirmed the city's AAA bond rating. It's the highest rating a community can receive, signifying our city's strongest fiscal management by both the staff and our governing body. Shawnee was recognized locally by Kansas City Business Journal as one of Kansas City's area's healthiest employers. When I took office as mayor just over a year ago, I was not sure in what shape I would find Shawnee's professional workforce. Indeed, the group known as Team Shawnee faced numerous setbacks over the course of many years. Despite leadership changes leading to uncertain futures, at no point did the hard work of our city staff falter. At no point did their dedication waver. Indeed, every step of the way, I was left more and more in awe of the work accomplished on a day-to-day, day-in, day-out basis by Team Shawnee. That work is not accomplished in margins. It's not easy, and it's not simple. The work of Shawnee's professional staff is under the microscope every single day by residents, businesses, and visitors to our fine city, as it should be. The excellence of the work they provide makes our city better every single day. Together, Team Shawnee ensures we have smooth roads to drive, an easy path to start a home-based business, high standards of professional work from the first responders to parks to enjoy, and so many more achievements than can be listed in this speech alone. All of these accomplishments are possible thanks to the strong foundation established by the experience of our employees and championed by leadership we have at the City of Shawnee. I had the privilege to watch my dad build a business from the ground up. And the most important lesson I learned, every accomplishment requires a strong foundation from the very beginning. Dick Sandifer would not have been a success without Cece Sandifer answering the phone to sell used cars while my dad was driving airplane engines across the country to support our family. Likewise, Shawnee must build a strong foundation to support our families by welcoming a broad collection of businesses to create a strong property tax revenue base through which we can provide the critical day-to-day services and resources our residents rely on and depend on every single day, while also offering property tax relief to homeowners, all the while balancing our budget. We have areas of Shawnee primed for business investment. What we need are those individuals ready to invest in our community. This year, we've seen companies increase their revenues, grow in Shawnee, and even relocate to Shawnee from other parts of the metro area and the country, because they understand what it means to call Shawnee home.
There's so much opportunity and growth happening here in Kansas.
And you can see it happening every day in our hometown with heart.
I just like the feel of Shawnee. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a safe community, and they continue to invest in the area.
It's allowed us to increase our production capabilities and just look for that next step in our next growth in our company.
Growth fueled by a city encouraging companies to expand.
We love the city, and it was just a great opportunity, and the city had some great industrial areas.
And inviting new businesses to set up shop.
They were very welcoming and happy to see manufacturing remain in Shawnee.
Because that's what happens when a sense of strong community meets smart, forward-thinking economic development.
Once I built my house here and I started to get more involved in the community, I started to meet more people and develop relationships that made me really want to put this in Shawnee, this new building.
You know, it feels like a much smaller community than, say, where I was in Kansas City, Missouri. The business development folks in your office reached out to me right away. They engaged with me, getting involved in a group, a manufacturing group.
That support means delivering better housing and better schools, all at a lower cost.
We know that quality of life here in Kansas is so far greater than what people really imagine it to be, and the cost of living is far less than what people think of.
Especially compared to some of our neighbors.
Business in Missouri can be challenging at some times. Taxes may not be as favorable as on the Kansas side.
And I think a lot of the people that are coming from the Missouri side will finally recognize how good Kansas really is.
No matter from how far away they're coming, the opportunities in Shawnee are hard to miss for employers and employees.
There are so many new companies that are looking to come to Kansas. They're not just, factory jobs, but they need an HR person, they need an accounting person, they need attorneys in those jobs as well.
And the addition of just one more person has a positive ripple effect throughout the entire community.
By having one person move back into your community is creating a whole lot of diverse money that is coming back into your community just by simply them buying a house, buying groceries, because they're also paying the taxes that need to go into helping your city grow.
Growth coming in the form of new warehouses, new offices, and new headquarters.
The new building is about 85,000 square feet, manufacturing facility and office building. We call it Project Zenith. It's kind of the pinnacle of my career. I feel like this is the next step for us to really build upon what we've got and continue to grow and flourish in the area.
To help all of Shawnee flourish, the city is supporting the Love Kansas campaign.
Love Kansas is essentially a love letter to a loved one who moved away. And what we ask is that people from Kansas write a love letter to a family member or a friend and tell them, hey, why don't you think about coming back home?
A message some don't need to be told twice.
Well, I grew up in Shawnee, and so after I graduated from K-State, I moved to Chicago. My dad told me he was going to close down the business and, ride off into the sunset. And before the evening was over, we had made a deal for me to buy him out.
So, whether your business is looking to expand or in need of a new home, consider this your invitation to find it right here in Shawnee.
Call the city, call some of those leaders in the city. I think they're going to jump right in and want to help you and help the business move to Shawnee.
If you have an idea, I don't think that there's a more welcoming state or city that would be willing to listen to your idea and see how to make it happen. And I don't think that's something you can get in Los Angeles or Santa Barbara or San Francisco. I think you can get that right here back in your home state.
Just about ended this quick. Now I'm pleased to be joined on stage by Ann Smith Tate, President of the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce, Ryan Wills, Special Project Coordinator with the Kansas Department of Commerce and Love, Kansas, and Celine Armstrong, owner of Armstrong Collectives. You guys have a mic to share, and we'll share one.
Yep. Sounds good. All right.
Okay. Got a question for Ann Smith, Tate. Ann, your job is to attract companies like this to Shawnee. From your experience, what support are companies needed to ask for when it comes to finding a new home?
Yeah, so we had the privilege of working with both of the companies that were featured in the video today. And I think one of the strategic advantages that we can offer as the community of Shawnee, and one of the ways that we do stand out, is that we are very intentional about the relationship-driven approach that we take to doing business in this community. Our chamber staff, the city staff, we really want to work hand in hand with the community, with a company, not just as administrators, but truly as their partners in growth. We listen, we ask the questions. We want them to grow not just in Shawnee, but because of Shawnee. So I think that relationship-driven approach has set us aside, and that's something that they definitely are looking for from the beginning of the process. As we continue into that process, certainly access to all the things that were mentioned in the videos to make sure that they have access to good, solid workforce, amenities in the community, and a certain level of certainty through the process at City Hall is exceptionally important from their first interaction to their final approvals.
Thank you. And Celine, your story is somewhat similar to Matt's. You're from Kansas, went to work in New York City, and recently relocated back to Kansas. What about Shawnee attracted you to putting down new roots?
So this will shock everyone or no one. It's the people. My husband had some friends out here, and I, was tight to Casey Moe, maybe needing to live in the city, and we fell in love with the people here. We researched schools in Johnson County from New York and identified 3 of them, and one of them happens to be the school that we can walk to, and that was very important for us to be here. And so far, we love all of our neighbors, and we're thankful that we landed with Shawnee.
Thank you. Ryan, what partnerships are available between the state of Kansas and Shawnee to support our new and existing local businesses?
It's a good question. For the state and Kansas Department of Commerce specifically, there's a wide array of tools, and the whole goal of the Kansas Department of Commerce is basically to be a one-stop shop for business development, workforce development, community development, and tourism. So when it comes to actually specific business efforts, there are really helpful incentives that are performance-based. We have our HPIP program that offers tax incentives to companies that pay higher than the average wage and have a focus on skills development. We have our PEAK program that allows qualifying companies to retain or be refunded 95% of their payroll withholding tax, and also our KIT and KER, which are training programs for new and existing businesses in Kansas. What I would also really recommend is to make sure that you reach out to us. I think a lot of times knowledge is power, and it wasn't until I started working at Commerce that I realized how many things actually existed, and there are several. I believe Wendy Enright is your in-state business rep. I have her contact information. She could explain those programs much better than I could. But in addition to that, there's a whole other part of Commerce. It's that holistic, community-driven approach where there are community development block grants, there's art grants, there's tourism grants, HEAL grants, all sorts of different opportunities that can really help build up communities. I brought a real small handful of a recently published grants guide that we have now, but it can be found online. And it's super helpful because it gives you an idea of everything that exists out there, as well as deadlines and eligibility, and I think that can be really supportive to a city like Shawnee.
Thank you. Next, how does Shawnee stand out from other communities in Johnson County and Kansas City area when it comes to attracting new and expanding businesses? Who would like to go first?
Well, I think really to echo some of those sentiments that I expressed initially, that that relationship-driven approach is something that I feel like we've done a great job of honing in on with our partners at the city, with our partners at the state, and certainly the staff, the professional staff that we have working at the chamber every day. So, you know, also our access around the Kansas City Metro is really unprecedented with access to 435, 35, K7 direct access, and then obviously close proximity to K7, or excuse me, K10 and I-70 provides us with a strategic location access, obviously to KCI, the schools, the affordable housing. All of those things are important to the business owner and their employees. We also have fair tax policy. We work hard with our partners in the legislature in Topeka to make sure that we have good, fair business policy. And I think those that we are communicating out to them is also very important. And then just having the space available is key. I mean, it does really come down to the real estate so much of the time.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I'd also mention that Shawnee specifically has something going for it with its historic and vibrant downtown. That doesn't exist in possibly other cities within the Johnson County area where, I don't know, I kind of feel like Shawnee has this third Goldilocks bear vibe to it where and it was kind of mentioned in the video, where you do have the amenities and the proximity to a large metropolitan area, but there's still this intangible but real small town feel to it. And you're not small, but you're kind of checking boxes and being able to have your foot in both of those camps. I think that really matters when it comes to a place for a business to choose to put its roots or grow in. You've also made significant investment in a variety of different industrial parks and logistics parks. That plays a huge role too of being prepared. We talk often at the Department of Commerce that speed is the new incentive. So being ready when a business is looking for things is really important to success.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I would say it's the opportunities here, as you mentioned, for space and real estate and the ability for the city leadership to be innovative and open to being the best. Like, as you say, it feels like a small town. There are like little villages around Shawnee, and there's such opportunity to like beat all the other cities because there's space here and there's willingness to just be innovative and be the best.
Yes, we are a small, big town. Okay. Where is Shawnee best situated for additional office and industrial development?
So I think we'll see a lot of that along the K7 corridor. Obviously, the Heartland Logistics Park there at 43rd Street and K7 we're still working on building all of that out. We have opportunities that exist at the K7 Logistics Center, and of course along the, still in Perimeter Park, there's opportunities for expansion. We see a lot of our key Shawnee communities like Everseal and NASDAR and Hans Rudolph that are all making continual investment in their property. Craft Tools, another one of those as well. I think we will see some opportunity potentially in medical office. As we know, the office market's really been in flux since COVID. We are starting to see some traction in companies asking their employees to come back into the office, but given the space that's still in the market in Johnson County, I think we'll see a lot of absorption in other communities before we can see the justification of new office development. And then was the question also just office and retail? Yeah, so I think really K7 is where the land is, it's where the opportunity exists. Certainly we're in part of the halo from what Panasonic is bringing to the entire metropolitan area, so we will continue to see those suppliers and those ancillary services that need to be close to a facility like Panasonic. Choose Shawnee because of all the amenities that we've mentioned previously.
Thank you.
I would second just all of those logistics parks are prime for industrial development, and the fact that they exist here is a huge leg up. I would say in addition, the state's also been really focused on opportunities with data centers. Those can provide significant growth, and talked about building that property tax and that tax-based revenue that can really help with that. Net neutrality data center here in Shawnee is a perfect example of that concept being, called to action. And of course, location. Panasonic is going to affect all sorts of parts of the metro, and being in that area matters a lot. As far as office and retail goes, I'd also just mention that we focus a lot at Commerce on outside investment coming in from outside of the state, even outside of the country. We also really want to prioritize homegrown businesses. So that's why we also now have the Office of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, and we have the Office of Innovation to try to help assist with that next great idea, that next startup, so the next billion-dollar company can maybe be something that is born in Kansas, as opposed to just also coming to Kansas.
Thank you. We're out of time, and thank you guys for coming. The clock ran out, I was told.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you again to the Shawnee business leaders for joining me today and for choosing to call Shawnee home. Of course, you have heard the most important resource all companies need are their workforce, a talented, strong, and local workforce. And that workforce needs after securing the job is a place to call home. Who better knows what attracts residents to put down roots in Shawnee than the people who are selling and renting these homes every single day?
When people move to Shawnee, they kind of fall in love with it.
It's just the feel of Shawnee. It's got the small town feel that people love, but it still has all the amenities of the bigger towns.
We have some hills, we have some trees, the look of the area.
They've got great schools, parks, everything people are looking for.
No matter the reason, when people decide to move to Shawnee, it doesn't take long to call it home.
I think that neighborhood feel is a big draw to these areas. Everybody's very welcoming in these subdivisions. There's always a flurry of activity. There's always people outside working on their yards. There's kids in the driveway. That's the kind of stuff that our clients like to see when we're touring homes.
And the improvements outside of residential neighborhoods make a positive impact and help Shawnee stand out.
All you have to do is walk outside of City Hall on a Friday night now and see everybody milling around, walking around, going from a couple of the different restaurants and bars.
I think the parks are a big deal. Even out west and these ones, Swarner Park and all of these, and Gum Springs getting their facelift, all of that stuff is big. Folks love that when we drive by. Oh man, that's a nice place.
And what we're doing with the Valley of Champions out west is great, and the idea of developing that area so people have something to do.
When it comes to new residents moving to Shawnee, some are looking for a good value.
I see a lot of the younger people, first-time homebuyers, looking around the east side of Shawnee. It's more affordable, they're smaller homes. They want to be close to I-35 to get downtown. They like the downtown Shawnee vibe.
The younger demographic really wanted the opportunity to be close to downtown and their businesses, but still kind of be in more of a suburban setting. And, you know, between 67th Street and 75th Street in Shawnee, it was the perfect location. Our residents could be downtown in a matter of minutes.
We're always going to need single-family homes. It's very important. We also need to be considerate, too, though, of the need for more affordable housing and keeping the young people here and engaged.
And I really think that's one thing that the city of Shawnee needs to be a little more willing to do, is allow a developer to create a multifamily option because that's what's affordable now for some people. And that's what they want, because they want that multifamily option with a lot of amenities.
So when opportunity arrives in Johnson County, Shawnee can benefit.
Anytime you have the creation of a lot of different jobs, you're going to have an influx of people. And when you have nationwide, 34% of people rent. And there's going to be a really big need for housing, and multifamily is the perfect tool to satisfy that housing.
We have to create housing for these people. I mean, there is such a pent-up demand, and we do need to be more, I'm a real estate guy, okay? But I do believe Shawnee needs to be a little more developer-friendly than maybe we have in the recent past.
We were very surprised how many residents were actually coming from outside Shawnee. At one time, it was up to about 90%. And we were really proud of that because some of those were coming from KCMO. Residents actually wanted the opportunity to live close to downtown, but have a suburban feel, and Shawnee was just that absolute perfect in between.
That can lead to a long future in Shawnee.
After renting for a few years, they all hope and plan to buy homes and stay in the area. Once they've, gotten used to the community and their kids are here, this is where they want to stay.
Because finding a place in our hometown with heart means a stronger future for everyone.
I love this city. I've, put a lot of my life into, selling property here and helping people find their home. And you can't go wrong in Shawnee.
Now I'd like to invite to join me on stage Lori Barngroover of Keller Williams Realty Partners and Patrick Reagan of Coldwell Bankers Reagan Realtors, Tiffany Harris from North Point Development. Would you guys join me on stage? All right. Pat, what does the Shawnee housing market stand right now? Where does the housing market at right at this moment?
Well, first I want to say that developer-friendly remark, I hope was all taken well. Real estate guy. Okay. This is the state of the city, and the state real estate, residential real estate in Shawnee is strong. Over the past year, according to our MLS in the city of Shawnee, we've had around 1,000, 1,100 homes sell. And in that amount, we've got average sales price of around $500,000. We have a median days on market of 3, okay? And that's the stat you need to know. We are desperate for inventory for residential real estate. We put a house on the market on Thursday, it's sold by Sunday, okay? And that's what's going on. And that's what's pushing pricing up and all. But that's also what you saw with the previous people, that in our real estate market, we have to find ways to get more people here and more affordable housing for young families and all to get here and go from there.
Hold the mic closer, she said. Other than that, there you go. Okay, I'll start over now. Okay, Lori, we just heard how the Shawnee market is doing. How does that compare to the rest of Johnson County and the Kansas City area?
I looked up these stats right before coming over here to confirm. So, looking at the whole metro, Jackson County, Missouri is actually beating out Johnson County by a tad, but we're both neck and neck. And within that, Shawnee is third, only behind Overland Park and Olathe, and I think that's mostly because they have more homes on the market to sell. So again, going back to, we need more housing to sell. Still have low inventory, so homes are selling fast. Going under contract in a few days. I just did an open house last weekend over on Neiman, and there was probably 30 people through in the 2 hours I was there. And a lot of families wanting to move their kids in, so it would be like the parents trying to get their kids to move in where they live. So yeah, still seeing multiple offers. Mid-price range, 300 to 500 is kind of where a lot of people need to be, and we just don't have that inventory. So Shawnee's going to have a great spring sales market. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Tiffany, how has interest in the Chadwick maintained? How has interest in the Chadwick maintained its opening through today? I can't.
Yes. So we welcomed our residents in late summer of 2023. And since then, we have actually had over 4,000 inquiries about our apartment homes. And we could not be more proud of that. Of those 4,000, over 1,000 of them have came to actually tour our community. We have 345 apartment homes at the Chadwick and a very extensive amenity package, and it's been so well received by the community. So I would say that it's an A+. For us, it's definitely been a high demand community, and we are excited to see it for years to come.
Thank you. We've got a final question here. What do you see as Shawnee's greatest housing challenge in the coming 10 years? Start with Pat.
Our greatest challenge is going to be how do we have the mix of housing that we need, from the estate homes to something that's available for a 20-something family just starting out. And I think what it's going to take is really good leadership and imagination to get things done and the gall to do it and make sure that we're providing some multifamily options that younger people can live in our community, because what we are seeing is that $300,000 to $500,000 market is so tough. Every time a house goes on the market in that range, it's multiple offers. It's so difficult for them to buy, and they get disenchanted with the situation and can't find some place to have the American dream, to enjoy what we were so easily able to find when I was in my 20s a long, long time ago. So I think our greatest challenge is how do we provide a community for everybody out there that's looking for it?
Thank you. Tiffany?
Yeah, I think I can definitely add to that as well. I think just honestly, lack thereof. Us folks in the apartment business, obviously we've seen some serious growth over the last couple years, but we need to make sure that we keep a fair balance. And by keeping a fair balance, it's adding more communities, adding more units, and cities truly being developer friendly. As the comment you made earlier, it is a partnership. And our projects can't happen without that partnership, just in fairness. So I think that it's quantity for sure. And of course, I think the continued collaboration overall.
Thank you.
Pretty much the same thing. I see a lot of people wanting to move out West Shawnee where their kids go to school. And there's just a lack of anything under 500,000 out in West Shawnee, so we need to address that problem and figure out how to keep a good mix of homes available for people.
Well, thank you guys for coming up here and coming to help us today. As mentioned, one of the reasons that attracts families to Shawnee is our great school system. We're home to 4 fantastic high schools, and it's my pleasure to honor their academic and athletic achievements this year. The volleyball teams from Mill Valley and Maranatha Academy both took home state titles this year. Mill Valley Cheer Squad brought home its 2nd straight title, and Shawnee Mission Northwest cheerleaders finished 10th in the nation at the high school national championship. And just 2 weeks ago, the Shawnee Mission Northwest boys basketball team took home the 6A state title for the 2nd year in a row. In the classroom, Shawnee students also found their names among the best in the country. Mia Diebel, Willie Lynn, Jackson Weems from Shawnee Mission Northwest, along with Shrub Patel and Carter Tolman from Mill Valley, and Oliver Evans and Ava Oglesby from Maranatha Academy were all honored as National Merit semifinalists. These students are all in the top 1% of the high schools in the United States. And this afternoon, before I got here, this afternoon before I got here, we had some of the real talent, which you saw up here, were playing, jazz music, and that was Zach Chesser, Braden Evans, Zane Lauer, and Kai McGarry from the Mill Valley Jazz Band. All of the accomplishments of these students in the classroom and beyond are thanks to the community that surrounds them. That is why I'm so proud to have the representatives from Shawnee's all 4 high schools here with us today. When I call your school, would you please stand and stay standing until everybody is recognized? So we may recognize your school's accomplishments academically, athletically, and through the Shawnee community. From the Midland Academy Mustangs, basketball, volleyball, and gymnastics, and cross-country teams. Would you stand? From Maranatha Academy Eagles, bowling, volleyball, basketball, and one of our 4 National Merit semifinalists. Would you please stand? Keep standing. All of you stand up. From Mill Valley High School Jaguars, state champion cheerleading squad and jazz band. And from Shawnee Mission Northwest High School Cougars, bowling, wrestling, and back-to-back basketball state champions. Okay, you may sit down now. Thank you all for being here today. You truly are the future of Shawnee, and we know that future is in good hands. As we look forward to that future, it's important to celebrate what we accomplished over the last 12 months. We've opened new city buildings, seen commercial development get a kickstart, welcomed new businesses, and watched new homes break ground. All of this is thanks to our governing body working together to lead our city and our talented professional staff carrying through the day-to-day business to make Shawnee go. Let's take a look back at the highlights of 2024.
1 year, 12 months, 366 days. Countless stories across the city of Shawnee. 2024 was a year for new beginnings. 2 new homes for our fire department, a fully renovated Station 73, and a new office for the fire department leadership at Station 71. As firefighters responded to more than 7,200 calls for service, a freshly revamped Rivera Drive, along with more than 56 lane miles of Shawnee streets owned and overlaid. A new look and experience for Gum Springs Park that brought in visitors from across the Kansas City area to explore the first of its kind play structure in North. With countless weekend gatherings in parks and recreational facilities across Shawnee, including more than 91,000 visitors to the city's 2 aquatic centers, and events that brought our community together, including the Shawnee police officers who appeared at 152 events. From moonlight markets to parades to countless other gatherings, large and small, across all of Shawnee. And when it comes to helping our neighbors in need, Shawnee residents answered, donating more than 9,800 hours of their time as volunteers. 2024 marked continued investment in Shawnee's downtown, with new life springing up in historic buildings, an auto repair shop turned into a neighborhood hangout, an old office becoming a new restaurant with an international flow, and a former law office turning into a showcase for local vendors. What was a former fire station is now giving folks a different kind of wake-up call. Plus, we're still honoring history with Shawneetown's latest edition, an award-winning live exhibit that returns this fall. All of it adds up to building a stronger community, stronger services, and a stronger home. Welcome home to Shawnee.
This city and its accomplishments have always made me proud. You don't need to serve as in an elected office to take pride in our community. One of my greatest honors as mayor is to welcome scout troops and student councils from Shawnee schools to lead our city council meetings Pledge of Allegiance. I always leave a message with them. I always share with the students that they are the future of Shawnee. And the earlier they get involved, the better. And like you guys out here now, you are tomorrow's leaders. And you are the future of Shawnee. Thank you for being here with us too. Regardless of your age, education, or current job, there's no better time to get involved with the city of Shawnee than right now. There is only so much a governing body can accomplish. Only so many hours in a day that our professional staff, there's ample opportunity to support your neighbors, support our students, support our wildlife and our natural wonders. I want to pay tribute to Pastor Chris Wynn of Life Community Church. Chris, would you stand, please? Thank you. Pastor Wynn launched our faith community and city partnerships that is so important to help the people in need throughout our city. His and other congregations have shoveled driveways, performed minor home repairs, and raked leaves all across the city of Shawnee, plus many other things that they've been doing. Thank you very much. The Chamber recognized Chris as its Heart of the Community Award winner. And I would say there's no greater embodiment of the heart of Shawnee than Chris Wynn. I started volunteering for Old Shawnee Days in 1998. And a short 25 years later, I became mayor. You know, that's how easy it is to get started. However you choose to get involved, I encourage you to reach out to your neighbors. Volunteer for the Chamber of Commerce Impact Day on April 25th. Reach out to Elizabeth Griffith with the city to join Neighbors Helping Neighbors. Become a mentor through caring for kids. Help paint a house. Volunteer for a week at Old Shawnee Town, Shawnee Town 1929. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Spend time in our community to make it better. Because a better tomorrow starts right now. And 2025 promises to be a big year. Garrett Park will undergo extensive renovations thanks to the Parks and Pipes sales tax. Shawnee Mission Parkway will experience a major facelift with the massive mill and overlay project from K7 to 435. And the Midland Entertainment District will once again be a hub for dining and activities for families and visitors. There is more work to be done, some of which is only possible thanks to the partnerships we build in Topeka and Washington, D.C. We need a bridge at 75th and K7 Highway. It will take support of KDOT. We have the opportunity to provide our residents with another connection to Kansas City and beyond. With Johnson County's only Amtrak station, it would take the support of the state and federal government. And we need to plan for the future. The Johnson County landfill estimates place its remaining lifespan at about 20 years. That means in 20 years' time, we no longer receive the millions of dollars of annual usage fees and property taxes from Waste Management. And the city of Shawnee will receive that property in donation, as a donation for more than 1,000 acres of future parkland. The future of the Johnson County landfill will be one we make as a community, and the conversations we need to begin in the very near future. Because that conversation ensures a successful and prosperous future for our city. That is a future that we can be a part of starting today. Or you can be a part of starting today. The Chamber has some Love Kansas postcards out in the theater lobby where you can write a letter to a family member who has moved away, to a colleague who may be looking to relocate, or a friend searching for a new home. This is our opportunity to share the story of Shawnee, Kansas, and start talking about the new future of our community. One that will encourage new development, will open new businesses, sell new homes, welcome new families to Shawnee, invite visitors to discover our hometown for themselves. And whether someone finds themselves here for a lifetime, or a season, or a day, we will say, welcome home to Shawnee. And thank you guys for coming. Thanks, everybody.